Hi, welcome to part 7 of Blitz Basic Programming for Beginners. At the end of the last session we introduced a piece of code which was a variable for the number of lives that the player has in the game. We started at 3 here, so at the start of every game you've got 3 lives, and then at part in the game loop we take this value down by 1 if one of the bombs, which is a bomb object here, hits your ship object, your image, using the image's collide command. So that would delete the bomb and reduce your lives by 1. Now what we saw last time was obviously because we've not introduced anything to end the game just keeps going, your lives will go into negative numbers and just keep going down. So what we're going to do is, after it's checked the bombs here, we're going to end the game if you're dead. So we're going to put end the game screen. It's not really going to be a screen, it's just going to be some more text on the screen. So we're going to say if lives equals to 0, then do the next bit. So we need an end if, because we're doing a block of commands for it to do. So if lives is 0, then the game's over. So what we're going to do is, we're going to write the word game over using text into the middle of the screen. The screen is 640 wide, so the middle is going to be 320. Around the bottom of the screen, so that it's, in fact no, we'll do this near the top of the screen, so that it's above the aliens and directly in the line of sight of where the player is looking, and it shouldn't have any other graphics behind it. So we're going to have a big game over in capital letters. Now the text command also has some extra arguments you can put on the end, which are whether or not to center it on the coordinates you give it. So 320 by 100, normally if I just didn't put anything on the end here, it would start writing the word game over at them coordinates. I actually want game over to be centered on them coordinates. So 320 by 100 will be in the middle of the actual word, not at the start of the word like it normally would be. This will become more obvious when you see it running. Next thing we're going to do is basically just flip the image onto the screen, because normally we would have to wait until the end of the main loop to flip it onto the screen, but because it's the end of the game, we're just going to grab the whole attention of the game, put the image on the screen, delay it by 3 seconds, which means it will draw the still image on your screen, delay it for 3 seconds. The reason this sets 3000 is because the delay command, which just pauses the running of the program, works in milliseconds, and there are 1000 milliseconds in 1 second. So delay 3000 just means pause the program for 3 seconds, after which we'll end the program. So if we just see this running now, and I'll die as quickly as I can. 1, 2, dead. So we get game over at the top middle of the screen, and the game ends all automatically. It's a bit of a quick and dirty way of doing a game over screen, but you know, for the purpose of this tutorial, that's fine. You can make your own big explosions going off later on, and do whatever you want when you're customising the game for how you want it. And you'll see, if you look at the Space Invaders game that I've made myself, and there's also in a video of that on YouTube, that sort of doesn't have very good game over screen either. But the rest of the game is done a lot more professionally. There's animated backgrounds, animated aliens, music, that sort of thing. We will actually look at music and sound effects in the next tutorial though, after this. So to carry on, the next thing we're missing is a score. So we'll introduce a score variable after lives. So score. Set score to 0 at the start of every game, just so you're not repeating the game, the score just keeps going up. That's if you put the option in to increase the score, to play the game again. So after each bullet hits an alien, we want our score to increase, so we'll put that in here. So we'll say score equals score plus 10. Now we want to draw the score on the screen, so we'll do that at the same time that we draw the lives on the screen. So we'll say text, instead of 50 we'll have it maybe at, it's 640 across, so maybe if we have it at 530 by 420. I'm going to say score. I've got it in capital letters because these old-fashioned games have had a lot of words in capitals just because it's easy to see on the screen. And we'll put the score variable after the word. So if we run this, you'll see we now have a score at the bottom right of the screen, as well as our lives at the bottom left. And the score will go up every time I shoot an alien. Obviously not for miss. Okay, so if I just quit this. The last thing I want to get done in this session is actually making the aliens move. Now we have a part of code that updates where the aliens are. What the computer doesn't know at the moment is how to actually move the aliens. So because we want them moving left and right, we just want a variable which will be an amount for which the aliens should move, but also a variable we can change. So what we'll do is we'll introduce a variable, we'll call it AMX, which will be the alien movement on the X axis, and axes are just going left and right, whereas Y axis goes up and down. So we've got AMX. We're going to set that to 1, which is just the speed of which they will move each frame. So each frame the aliens will move 1 pixel, so that's the alien's speed. This will make more sense in a moment when we actually see it running. So at the point where we update each alien, we checked where we decide whether it's going to drop a bomb, where we draw it on the screen, that sort of thing. We're actually going to check if AX, which is where the alien is on X, is more than, say, 460. Then we're going to make AMX to be minus AMX, which means they'll move in the opposite direction. Then we then update AX plus AMX to update the position of the alien. So if we now run this, okay, got an error, should have been equals. So if I run this, we've got a bug. What we should be doing is we'll actually move this around the other way. So we're going to say let's go through it this way. Instead of here, let's say we do it after we check the last alien, after we update the last alien. So we'll do it there. In fact, we won't do it there because we could potentially be trying to check an alien that's just been shot. So what we'll do, we'll take the position of that last alien just before we delete it. AX, we'll call it AX equals AX, and then we'll say if the position of the last alien we checked is more than 460, then it's time to reverse which way they're going in. So it's actually going to be minus 1, well no, minus AMX, that will do the same thing. And we're also going to say if AX equals less 20, then AMX again equals minus AMX. So if AMX is minus 1, minus AMX will be 1, and it'll go back the other way. So if we run this, the aliens is going to shiver back and forth and not work properly at all. And that's because of a bug. Let's shift this code. Let's get rid of that. I'm just going to botch this quickly and shift it all back up. We're going to say AX equals AMX plus 1 if A is 160, then AMX equals minus AMX. If it's minus 20, then do that. Let's see what that does. Okay, that's actually looking better. Our alien is now moving properly. They're not moving all the way over because it should have been 6. It should have been 620, not 480. Run that, and it works. I'm going to have to cut this very short because I've got about 10 seconds left on the video. But you can download the source code for this, and I'll carry on talking about it in the next tutorial. Okay, I'll see you then.